Welcome to a wonderful Thursday morning here in Dubai for the 2019 IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships, and it has been action after action after action, every session, every day here, and the 72 kilo women are going to bring us plenty more action. Of course, starting off with the squat, one of the areas that a lot can tend to go wrong in the squat. Quite a few areas you can fail on. The lift itself, complexity-wise, it doesn't appear to be that complicated, but there's quite a few things that can go wrong or you can fail a lift on in the squat, just like all the lifts. Uh, Obviously, you need to unrack the bar, the squat position. It's a little bit different in the gym. You have the ruling about how deep the squat has to be, where the hip crease has to be below the top of the thigh. When you unrack the bar, you have to lock the knees in a steady, controlled position and wait for the start command. If you beat that, you get a yellow card. If you don't get depth, so that hip crease isn't below the top of the thigh, then you end up with a red card. The bar has to continue in an upward motion. It can actually stop, but it cannot dip back down again. So it has to be moving up, and you have to return to that locked position at the start of the squat as well. So those knees have to be locked in the upright position. And of course, then you have to hold it controlled and wait for that rack command as well. So there's quite a few little areas that can go wrong. Often jumping the start command is one of those areas, particularly if you're a new lifter. Get out there, adrenaline's pumping, you just really want to get the lift done, and you beat that start command. We are 1 minute away from getting this competition underway, and it is going to be absolutely outstanding today. And of course, Uplift putting this beautiful competition together, one of our premium sponsors here at the IPF, training platform bringing coaches and athletes together from around the world. Alico, who have stood behind this sport and many other sports for such a long time. Their motto is to raise the bar, and they just continually do that. The only thing that hasn't really changed since its inception was the Alico bar itself. It's patented waffle knurling. I think the only additions they have made to it is dust caps on the end and a little bit of a change in the bearings, but the bar itself is pretty much what it was when it was first brought into the market. And of course, SBD, greatest lifting products you can get your hands on, the best knee sleeves you can wrap around those knees, and their patented belt and belt buckle is absolutely phenomenal. Easily adjusted. Once you put it on, you are not going to want to take it off. And we've got a pretty stacked field here today. If you look at the nominated totals, generally this is anybody's game today. But right off the bat, Catherine Buck from Denmark looking for 160. Nothing tougher than being that first lift of the session. But she has plenty of experience, I have no doubt. She's been well prepared for this. 15 years in the game. And that should be a good lift for her opener. It is. 3 white lights, well under a personal best. Good conservative opening lift. So Kim Cowell from Great Britain, 185. Right on her personal best. Looking to take 185 for a spin. So she hit a 185 this year at the Europeans. And her training has been going very well because 185 looked pretty easy for an opening lift. That's where you want it. Ines Kara from Austria. Looking to take 190 for a run. Hit a 192.5 earlier this year at the European Powerlifting Championships. Unfortunately, missed all bench press, so didn't register a total. And she hit a 200 at the Western European Powerlifting Championships in September this year. So this should be a fairly conservative opener, and it is just that. I have a feeling she's going to blow her personal best out of the water today as well. She made that opener look very much like a warm-up. Asali Su from Chinese Taipei, opening with a 190. Been competing for 23 years. In 2009, picked up the gold medal in the Asian Powerlifting Championships. Picked up a silver medal World Powerlifting Championships in 2006. So plenty of international experience.
20 seconds. 15. 10 seconds.
Hasn't given herself much time though. Just snuck it in there. And handles the weight very well. Did she get the squat command before the clock dropped? She did. Got the start command right on the money and just stuck it in there. She'll be wanting to get out there a little bit earlier for her next one, I think. Holly Bryans, Great Britain, 200 kilograms. Opening just a few kilos over a personal best. This will tell us just how well her training cycles have been going. Depth looks good from where I'm sitting. We'll wait for the referees. And it's a good lift. A little bit unsteady through the middle there, but it certainly didn't seem to bother her in any way. Almost sitting back or pulling back a little bit too far, but she got the job done. Marie Hauschild from Germany, 205.
Bars loaded, 205 kilos, Marie Hauschild, Germany.
So opening on an equal personal best. Incidentally, she hit that 205 at the Western European Championships this year. And she hit a 205 at the World Juniors last year as well. Great deep Ma Wolf in her corner. So she's no stranger to 205. Finds the bottom and handles the weight very, very well.
2-1, a good lift for Hauschild at 205. Next weight on the bar remains.
Gets that one on the board.
India.
Very, very controlled descent.
Prepare Parello and Zayats.
Squeezes it down through the knee wraps into the bottom to fire it back up.
Bars loaded, 205 kilos, Malika Yadav, India.
Malika Yadav from India, 205. And some great work and great number selection from the Indian team yesterday. Let's see if they can keep that up today. Depth is fantastic. Speed is absolutely like lightning. And 3 white lights. That is a great opening lift.
Italy. Prepare Zayat
Gets
and
into the bottom,
Marchenko.
uses the bounce very, very well. Francesca Parello from Italy, 210.
Kilos, Francesca Parello, Italy.
Just shy of her personal best. Actually, I'll correct that. Probably hasn't been updated yet. She hit a 212.5 at the European Powerlifting Federation Championships in Pilsen. So she's got plenty of experience under this weight. Looks a little unsteady there, but the speed up was absolutely fantastic. And wait for the referees, not deep enough. And the Italian coach doesn't look overly happy about the decision, but it's 2-1. And she does look from this angle, looks like she's pulled up a little bit short there. Lydia Zyats from Russia, 225. 23 years of age. 6 years competition experience. Just shy of her personal best at 230. We've seen great selection attempts from the Russian and the Ukrainian teams this week, and some great battles. Speed is good. It moved very, very easily. What do the referees say? Not deep enough. She's going to have to sink that a little bit further. Speed was really good. She just pulled up a little bit shy there. And probably just a case of first lift nerves, getting that first lift out of the way.
225 kilos,
Antonina Marchenko from the Ukraine, looking for 225. And certainly no stranger to international competitions. She did a 240 last year at the World Powerlifting Championships in Hampstead. She did a 240 earlier this year, the European Championships. And depth looked fairly solid on that one. 2-1. She gets the 2 white lights and it's on the board.
227.5 kilos. Next weight on the bar, Eileen Jorgensen, Elverum and Silvertown get
Our
ready.
next lifter to take the platform, Eileen Jorgensen, 227.5. Making that big step of opening on a personal best. Seven years competition experience. And that was a very smooth opener. And gets the 2 white lights, it's on the board.
235 kilos next weight on the bar for Marta Elverum, also
Marta Elverum from Norway, 235. Well shy of her personal best. Did a 240 at the World Championships last year. 242.5 the year before. 252.5, 2017 in Pilsen. I think at 235 should be fairly conservative. And a very clean squat. Hits depth really well. Very convincing at the bottom there. giving the referees nothing to think about.
2:35 remains on the bar for Catherine Silverzahn, Germany. McCarthy and back, get
So we
ready.
stay at 2:35 for Catherine Silverzahn from Germany.
Bars loaded, 235 kilos, Catherine Silverzahn, Germany.
She did a 2:35 at the European Championships this year. That's equal to a personal best. She's just having a little bit of a hard time finding a balance there. Well, she hung around the bottom for a very long time. Somehow she managed to muster up the power to shift that bar. Some form of telekinesis there.
250 kilos. Kelsey McCarthy.
Absolutely
USA,
fantastic power.
The bar is loaded. 250 kilos, Kelsey McCarthy. USA.
Kelsey McCarthy from the USA, 250 kilograms.
Seconds.
And Big Mike in her corner there. A very familiar face in the USA coaching team. He probably looks more stressed than the athlete at the moment. 250, well under her personal best. Drops it into the bottom. Handles the lift without any problems. She gets 2 red lights there. Not deep enough. You can see she gets to the bottom and she has that little drop in. And the US coaching staff going to the table. I'm not sure if he's going to get any joy there. From this angle, it didn't look to get depth. We'll wait and see what the jury says. We come back around now for second attempts with Catherine Bach from Denmark. 167.5. And it doesn't look like the US coach found himself any joy at the jury table. 167.5 for Catherine. She had a great opening lift. She's got all those nerves out of the way now. And somehow she managed to stand that back up. She got herself into a bit of an awkward position. She got a good bounce, gets the 3 white lights. Hopefully we'll see the replay of this one. She got a nice little bounce at the bottom. Hips popped up a little bit too fast and she's folded herself over a bit. Managed to drive those hips through to stand back up. Kimberly Cowell from Great Britain, 195. Well over her personal best.
Bars loaded, 195 kilos, Kim Cowell, Great Britain.
She hit that personal best of 185 at the European Championships this year. Now looking at 195. 10 kilos above her opener. That moved very well. And that one moved pretty well as well. You can hear the coach in the corner yelling chest up there. And she lifted that chest and her head up and it made all the difference.
202.5 for Ines Carter, Austria. Sue and
Gets to the bottom well. Chest starts to fall and then she stands it back up again. So 202.5 now for Ines Kara from Austria. An opening lift of 190. Personal best of 200. Looking to add a couple of kilos to that. Depth is good, but she's just managed to get those hips through. I'm not sure how she managed to do that. And she's having a bit of a laugh about it herself. She gets the lift, but she knows it was a little messy. But a messy lift can still get the job done. Li Xiu, Chinese Taipei now, looking for 205 and a nice little personal best.
Chinese Taipei.
Good control, but just got a little bit off balance on the way back up there. No lift. Let's have a look at the replay and see if we can just see where it went wrong. So she has good control through the descent. Little drop in, and just as she dropped in there, you can see a knee pull in and pull forward and shifted her center of gravity. Holly Bryans from Great Britain now looking at 207.5. For a very, very big personal best. Gets into the bottom, lifts the head, lifts the chest. The referee say 3 white lights.
207.5 kilos for Holly Bryans. 210 next weight on the bar. Francesca Porello.
Good control down, drops into the bottom.
Bars loaded, 210 kilos, Francesca
Throws that head up and that chest up. Francesca Porello from Italy, 210 kilograms. Didn't get any joy on her opening lift. Was very, very close. I'm quite sure the coach thought about going to the jury panel. Sometimes you got to pick your moments. Depth looked very good on that one from where I am sitting. Let's wait and see though. 3 white lights. Breathes a sigh of relief.
212.5 kilos.
So we go to 212.5 now for Marie Hauschild from Germany. Opened with a 205, equal to a personal best. Now looking for a personal best at 212.5. I'm sure she has handled this in the gym, but it is uncharted territory on the international platform. Good control. Looking for the depth. Finds it and stands up very easily. And the referees say not deep enough though. So referees not giving that one.
225
let's have a look at the
kilos.
replay. I think she pulled up just a little shy there. Yeah, just needs to go down another centimetre or two.
Bars loaded, 225
Malika
kilos.
Yadav
Malika
from
Yadav,
India. 225. Her 205 moved like lightning. It's a very big jump though, from 205 to 225, and well above her personal best. She looks comfortable though. Weight certainly isn't an issue in that case. 3 white lights. A jump like that's usually a big one, but it looked like it didn't mean anything to how it felt for her. It moved just as fast as her opening lift.
Bar is loaded, 230 kilos. Lydia Zayats, Russia.
Lydia Zayats from Russia, 230 kilograms. She missed her opening lift at 225. Didn't quite get deep enough. Now she's thrown an extra 5 kilos, trying to push through those knee wraps a little bit. Will equal her personal best. Well, the 5 kilos certainly didn't make a difference to how fast it moved, but it did make a difference to her depth, and she gets that one on the board.
Russia. 235 kilos next weight on the bar.
So 235, Catherine Zibassan from Germany, Mr. Opener. She had an uncomfortable looking lift on her opener, and somehow managed to stand it back up, but didn't get awarded the lift. And in this case, she's going to have to be a little bit more controlled, sit back into it. She has a great coach in her corner giving her instructions and cues. And again, hangs around the bottom for such a long time, and somehow finds the strength to come out of the hole and get the lift on the board. Incredibly strong. Hangs around down the bottom there, almost putting in a pause squat. Aline Jorgensen from Norway, 235. For a very big personal best. Well, the weight certainly isn't a problem for her. But unfortunately, on that occasion, the depth is. So she'll have to drop that a little bit deeper. Just not quite at the bottom. I have a feeling the coach is going to go to the table. Yes, the coach is going to the jury table to have a chat. But he very quickly got said no thank you. Antonina Mashenko from the Ukraine now, 235. Opened at 220. Now looking for 235. Still below her personal best. And handles that like a true professional. 3 white lights.
Next weight on the bar is 240 kilos. Marta Elverum, Norway. McCarthy and Cowell get ready.
So Marta Elverum from Norway, 240.
Marta Elverum, Norway.
And Catherine Buck from Denmark has scratched her last attempt by the looks of it. Might be looking to conserve a little bit of energy. It's a long competition. But right now, Martha Elverum from Norway. Speed out of the bottom is fantastic. What do the referees say? Not deep enough.
240 kilos for Elvero.
Just pulling up a little bit short there.
USA, Cowell and Sue, get ready.
So Kelsey McCarthy now with 250.
Kelsey
Had
McCarthy,
absolutely no
USA.
problem shifting the weight. Just needs a little bit more convincing on depth at the bottom. So taking your time. Drops into the bottom. Let's see what the referees say. Again, not deep enough. And Big Mike's having a good look at the jury panel, thinking about going over there. And he's decided to go for a walk. I don't think he's going to get a lot of joy. Oh, there's a bit of movement from the jury panel. Might get overturned.
Bar is loaded. 200 kilos. Kim Cowell, Great Britain.
But right now, Kimberly Cowell from Great Britain, 200 kilograms is on the bar for a very big personal best. Having to work very hard through the middle, but she gets it back to the top and gets the 3 white lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury have overturned the verdict for the USA lifter. That is a good lift at 250.
And
McCarthy, USA in the last round, a good lift.
The lift in the last round there from the USA has been overturned to a good lift. So McCarthy gets the 250 on the board. So he did have some joy from the jury panel. Sai Lee Su from Chinese Taipei now 205. 72 kilo class, give you an idea of just how strong these ladies are. World record 265.5, world junior record 240 kilograms. And there's a world record attempt, junior record attempt coming up very soon. But right now 205 is on the bar. Missed this on her second. Just got herself a little bit off balance at the bottom. Just needs to keep driving those knees out. And that was a lot better. And she gets the 2 white lights. That's enough.
207.5 kilos next weight on the bar. Ines Carter, Austria. Hauschild and Bryans, get ready.
Much better lift there. Kept that knee out. Didn't shift forward. Ines Carter from Austria, 207.5. Getting yourself fired up for this one. We'll add 7.5 kilos to a personal best. Her other lifts have moved very well. Depth is good. That was much cleaner than a second one. Let's see what the referees say. It is a good lift for 3 white lights. And she is pretty happy with that one.
215 next weight on the bar.
And the second lift, she folded right over.
Bar is
but
loaded.
still managed to
2
stand up on
kilos
that
Marie
one. It was much
Hauschild,
cleaner.
Germany.
Marie Hauschild from Germany, 215 kilograms, 24 years of age, 6 years competition experience, and a monstrous personal best attempt here. She opened on her personal best at 205. She went for 212 and a half. Didn't get any joy from the referees. So now looking for 215, using that extra little bit of weight to push down through the knee wraps. Maybe get a bit more spring out of the bottom. She certainly has no problem shifting the weight. Looks for the bottom. Stands up. Has no problem shifting the weight. Gets the white light. She hung around down the bottom and gave the referees plenty of time to have a look and study it.
For Holly Bryant, Great Britain, Corello and Elverum, get ready, bar is loaded.
She almost sat at the bottom there and looked at the refs and said, is that good enough? And it was. Holly Bryant, Great Britain, 215 kilograms. Gets herself steadied. Hits the bottom well. All right, let's wait and see what the referees say. 2 white lights, it's on the board.
220, next weight on the bar. Francesca Parello, Italy, Elverum and
Managed that
Silverstone,
weight
get
very,
ready.
very well. Keeps the head up, which drives the chest up as well.
Bars loaded, 220 kilos,
Francesca Parello from Italy, 220. This will add 5 kilos to her personal best. Opening lift just didn't quite get deep enough. And was much, much better on the second. There's a nice walk out. It's a big breath in, breaks the knees, sits back. Depth looks good. She's working through it. Somehow she managed to stand that up. Did the bar dip though? Unfortunately, yes. The bar dipped back down just a little bit there.
240 is the next weight on the bar.
We'll probably be able to see it on the replay.
First out is
She stops completely, hips are coming up, and then you can see it right there was where the bar dipped. But an absolutely brilliant effort. Martha Elverum from Norway, 240 kilograms. Missed 240 on a second. Oh, that was a tough one. She really changed her technique a little bit on that one, but it did the job. She gets the 2 white lights. You can see in her descent there, she sped up a lot earlier than she usually does. Dropped it into the bottom to get the bounce, which nearly threw her off balance, but she recovered it well and gets it on the board. Catherine Zilbazan, 240. Missed her open at 235. Got it on a second. Now looking at 240. It hasn't been an easy squat session for her. She's expelled a lot of energy. Just doesn't look comfortable under the bar today. She got lots of speed out of the bottom there. Let's see what the referees say. No lift. Just haven't looked as comfortable under the bar as usual. Ellen Jorgensen from Norway, 240 kilograms. Opened 227.5, missed 235, now looking for 240. Hoping those extra few kilos can just push it down through the knee wraps and get it down through the squat suit a bit easier. And then she has to explode and drive it back up. And I think it looks good. If it is, it'll be a massive personal best, and it is. And she's pretty excited by that one. Right now, 242.5. Lydia Zayats from Russia for a world junior record. We said yesterday that every session, every discipline has had a world record attempts, and this one is no exception. 242.5 for a world junior record. She opened at 225 and didn't get deep enough. Threw on an extra 5 kilos to push through, and it worked very well. Now looking for 242.5. And she made that look like an opening lift. 3 white lights for a world junior record. First session of the day. Outstanding, and that world record attempt looked much more like an opening lift than a world record attempt. So 242.5 now for Malika Yadav from India. She had a personal best of 210, opened at 205, took a massive, massive jump to 225.5. That didn't seem to slow her down at all, and now taking quite a big jump again to 242.5. So another big jump, and some athletes do train to take big steps. And she has no problem moving that weight. The question will be not deep enough. But wow, she is super strong. A big jump like that doesn't seem to affect her movement at all. And Tanina Mashenko from the Ukraine, 242.5. Looks like they had a sale at the back on attempt cards at 242.5. Opened to 225, got it, and got it convincingly. Hit a second at 235 convincingly. 242.5, still a smidge below her personal best. And that looks like a good third lift attempt selection for today. 3 white lights. So right now, the last squat for this session, 260 kilos goes on the bar. Kelsey McCarthy opened to 250, didn't get depth, hit it on a second, got overturned to a good lift by the jury, now looking for 260. Imagine the extra weight will help drive her down through those knee wraps. Really setting the pace here with this squat of 260 kilograms. Gets into the bottom well, having to work very hard through the middle and just a little bit too much. A very, very big effort. She's a little bit disappointed with that, but it's a long day of lifting ahead, so plenty of time to make that back up. Don't go anywhere. 20 minutes time, we will be right back here, and these amazingly strong women will be battling it out on the bench press. welcome back to the IPF 2019 World Open Powerlifting Championships here in beautiful Dubai. And we are just about to get underway with the bench press. And of course, we've talked about it so many times, the bench press is probably the most technical of all lifts in regards to the amount of rules and the amount of things that can go wrong. And there's so much to think about when you're out on a bench press. You can practice in the gym a million times over, but when you're out on that international platform and even the national platform, your local competition, there are so many rules and technicalities and where it can go wrong. So if you have to start with your elbows in the locked position, you then have to wait for a start command. If you beat that start command, you get a yellow card. You have to touch the bar to your chest, which is even harder in equipped lifting. The bar has to move upward. It can come to a stop, but it has to continue moving up and not down. You have to finish with your elbows in the locked position. Then you have to wait for a rack command. You have to keep your head, your shoulders, your feet, your butt. Everything needs to stay in contact. Feet have to stay flat on the floor. They can shift a little bit, but they have to stay flat. The bar generally can't make contact with the rack. It can make contact with the rack providing it doesn't provide any supporting use in the lift, but generally you need to avoid contact. So there are so many things to think about when you step out of that platform, so many things that can go wrong. And then on top of that, you have to think about lifting and how you're going to do that lift as well. We are just 5 seconds away from the 72 kilo women's bench press with Malika Yadaf will be our first lifter on the platform with 85 kilograms, well under her personal best, opening at a very conservative number. And the Indian team yesterday were outstanding in picking those opening lifts and picking those attempts, making sure their lifters had every opportunity.
40 seconds.
But there is 40 seconds left on the clock. She wants to give herself a little bit more time than this, and here she comes running out to the platform, looking to open the bench press at 85 kilograms. She has an interesting way of setting up there, getting the lift off before she puts her feet down on the floor. And looks like a good lift. And there's another little incidental rule there as well. The bar cannot touch your belt. So if you bench with a belt, the bar cannot touch that belt. Tsai Lee Su, Chinese Taipei, looking for 105. And 50 seconds left on the clock. Quite important in the bench press to get out onto that bench to start setting up as fast as possible. You've got 1 minute, and although that seems like a long time, if it takes you 20 seconds to set up and then the referees aren't happy with something, you have to get the bar replaced and you start your setup again. You start running out of time very, very quickly and put a lot of pressure on yourself. And a good, easy opening lift. So the current world open record is 186 kilograms. The world junior record is 172.5. So a super, super strong weight class. Catherine Buck from Denmark looking for 105 as well. Just shy of her personal best. Timed it very well. All set up with 35 seconds left on the clock. A little bit of a sticking point in the middle, but she managed to get those triceps working and gets that one on the board.
Austria.
So Ines Kara from Austria now, 112.5.
Bars loaded, 112.5 kilos, Ines Kara, Austria.
Well under her personal best. And just everyone just focusing on getting that opening lift on the board. And see the focus and control, bringing that bar down. Great press. Plenty of speed, 3 white lights. Let's have a look at the replay. And a nice replay of the Alico bench there. Very lovely looking piece of equipment. Francesca Perello, Italy, 115 kilograms. Opening on a personal best. She did a 110 earlier this year at the European Championships in Pilsen. And handles that very well. And gets back to that locked position at the top and gets the 3 white lights. So good control, bringing the bar down, and follows the same path back up again. Kimberly Cowell from Great Britain, 117.5. So well away from her personal best. She did a 130 at the World Bench Press Championships in Tokyo earlier this year, a single lift event. And handled that well. She did 115 at the European Opens this year as well, so she's been very, very busy in competitions this year. She gets that one on the board. So Holly Bryans, Great Britain, 122.5. 10 kilos over her personal best. And handles that very, very well. 3 white lights, a very, very good lift. Very smooth control with the bar descent, and stops it very quickly and gets the quick press command. Marie Hauschild from Germany, 127.5. Again, opening on a personal best. Although I do think she hit a 130 at the European Champions this year, so it might not be a personal best. And that was certainly a good opening lift. Should be 3 white lights. It's 2. She gets a yellow card there for some butt movement. One ref possibly seeing some foot movement it was by the look of it.
Bars loaded, 137.5 kilos, Marta Elverum,
So
Norway.
Martha Elverum from Norway now, 137.5. Those feet buried in, shoulders dug in. And she had good speed off the chest. Got a little bit out of balance about halfway up there.
Unfortunately, no lift.
And it
No
sort of
lift,
shifted the
137.5
bar
for
down.
Marta, 142.5
Have a look at the
kilos next weight
replay.
on
She
bar.
gets very
Lydia
good
Zayat,
speed off the
Russia.
chest on the press
Silverton and
command
Jurgensen, get ready.
and good direction, but just tipped sideways
Bars loaded,
and got unlucky with that
142.5
one.
kilos, Lydia Zayat, Russia.
Lydia Zayat from Russia, 142.5, having just broken the world junior squat record. Just shy of her personal best. Drags it down, finds the spot very fast.
Green white lights, you can lift, 142.5
Moved
kilos
like
for Lydia
lightning.
Zayat, Russia. Next weight on the bar is 145 for Catherine Silbertzahn of Germany, Jorgensen and
Absolutely
Marchenko,
lightning
get ready.
fast lift.
Bars loaded, 145
We're
kilos.
looking forward to
Catherine
seeing what she does in the next two lifts.
Silbertzahn,
Right now, Catherine Zilbazan from Germany, 145. A little bit of hesitation on the press command there. It made it very hard for her, but just couldn't lock it out. And unfortunately, no lift. Have a look at the replay there. You can see she just hesitated. Probably didn't hesitate. Probably tried to predict the command a little bit there. And then, of course, that upset everything. Aline Jorgensen from Norway, 147.5. This will be a nice opening personal best. Really having to work it down. Can she get the touch? She does. And very smooth all the way back to the top. And 3 white lights, and she's happy to have that one on the board.
160, next weight on the bar.
Had a tough time getting the bar to touch the chest there, but she got it there in the end and stopped it, steadied it very quickly.
Bars loaded, 160 kilos,
Antonina Mashenko from Ukraine, 160. A strong lifter and strong competitor. Had a busy coaching team this week so far. Oh, she's had a little bit of trouble with balance at the top there. Did she hold it together long enough? Waiting for the referee's decision. No lift. Let's have a look at the replay. She got great speed.
167.5 kilos, next weight on the bar.
Let's have a look. And the hips lift up there and starts to throw her off balance there. So no lift. Kelsey McCarthy, 167.5. Didn't have a great day on squats. Missed her opener. Got her second on an overturn and then missed her third. So we're looking to be a little bit more consistent in the bench. And opening at 167.5. Big Mike in her corner. Part of the great US coaching team. Usually very, very good with their attempt selections. Really having to work that down to the chest. Gets the touch. Very fast and very smooth. And 3 white lights. Imagine they're happy with that one. So we come around now for their second lifts.
This is for Malika Yadav, India, Sauli Su, and Catherine.
And we have 3 lifters still to register a lift. And Malika Yadav from India, 95 kilograms. And she is on the platform with a lot more time to spare this time. Coaching team looking on. Absolute speed. I would probably like to see her drive it back a little bit more, but clearly it hasn't slowed her down at all. It was probably a little bit too straight on the way up, which is going to may cause a few issues for her as the weights get heavier, but she handled that very well. Sai Lee Su, Chinese Taipei, 110 kilograms. Plenty of time on the clock. And plenty of speed in that lift. That was very, very fast for a second lift.
Chinese Taipei, next weight on the bar remains at 110 kilos for Catherine Back. Bar is loaded.
Moved like lightning and kept the body movement to an absolute minimum. Catherine Buck, 110 kilograms. Nice little personal best. Got good control. Have to work hard through the middle. Can she lock it? She does. She gets it to the top. The referees say it's a good lift. Ines Carter from Austria will be next to take the platform at 120 kilograms. just below her personal best. Got out there and gave herself plenty of time to set up. The aim, get it to the chest, stop it as quickly as possible, and get the quick press command, and she does just that. And a great second lift, 3 white lights.
120 kilos for Ines Cara, Austria. 120 remains on the bar for Francesca Porello, Italy. Bar is loaded. 120
Gets the
kilos
bar
for Francesca
stopped
Porello.
very quickly and gets that really quick press command. Francesca Porello, 120 kilograms. A big, big personal best. And interesting, Xu from Chinese Taipei has scratched her 3rd bench press. Oh, came quickly to the chest and just as quick back up. It looked for a second like she didn't have enough tension in that shirt, but clearly she has the perfect balance.
122.5 kilos for Kim Cowell, Great Britain. Holly Bryant and Marie Hauschild.
Comes down quickly and then drives it back up. Kimberly Cow, Great Britain, 122 and a half. Still under that personal best of 130 that she set in Tokyo, Japan. And smooth all the way through. The referees say 3 white lights. That's 2 in a row.
127.5 next weight on the bar. Holly Bryant, Great Britain. Marie Hauschild and Marta Elvero, get ready.
She did no mucking around with that lift. Holly Bryant's Great Britain, 127 and a half.
127.5 kilos, Holly Bryant's Great Britain.
A very, very big personal best. Started at 122 and a half, which was a personal best. Now looking at 127 and a half. And started off slow, but she managed to find some acceleration. And she gets that one in the bank.
127.5 for Holly Bryant, Great Britain. 132.5 is the next weight on the bar. Marie Hauschild, Germany.
Marie Hauschild from Germany, 132 and a half. 10 kilos over her personal best. And still very, very young for an equipped lifter at this level. Imagine that. She'll have a very, very long career ahead. So 132 and a half. Gets that chest up. You can see the shirt pressing across the chest. Gets it there. And gets it to the lock position. Did her butt stay on the bench? And it did. 3 white lights.
Germany. 137.5 next weight on the bar. Marta Elvero, Norway.
Marta Elverum from Norway, 137 and a half as well. Wants to edge a little bit closer to that personal best. She missed this on her opening lift, so a little bit of extra pressure now. Wants to get this one on the board to take the pressure off. Really taking her time with this setup. She wants everything right. That looks a lot better. And it is 3 white lights. She gets the job done, takes the pressure off.
145 kilos, next weight on the bar,
Catherine Zilberzahn from Germany, 145. She opened with 145, missed it. Got into all sorts of trouble. Now looking to rectify that, and I'm sure Dietmar Wolf had plenty of instructions for her. And I imagine they would have solved whatever the problem was. He's looking on very, very closely. And that looks a lot better. And it is, it's on the board. Not quite sure what he said to her in the break. I certainly like to be a fly on the wall.
Get ready. Bars loaded.
Lydia Zayats from Russia, 150 kilograms. Her opening lift was lightning fast, moving like a mine bullet. Let's see if this one's just as fast. Broke the world squat record, junior squat record, earlier in this session. What has she got in store for the bench? Big, big breath. Dragging it down. Another rocket fast lift. 3 white lights. Even in the replay, it's fast. Elina Jorgensen from Norway, 155. Opened 147.5, which was a personal best. Now looking at 155. So adding a little bit more to that. Great control there. Very smooth to the touch. And followed exactly the same bar path down and up and gets the 3 white lights. And she is really, really excited about that one. Really good example there. Followed exactly the same path. Used the shirt very, very well on this lift. Antonina Mashenko from Ukraine, now 160 kilograms. Missed her opener. She is a very, very strong lifter and a very strong bench presser. So I'm sure they've gone out the back, made a few little adjustments, fixed what they needed to fix, and this will be just fine.
30 seconds.
Getting up on top of those shoulders. And that looked a lot better. And waiting for the referees, and it is 3 white lights. And see, she stayed balanced, the hips stayed down, the body didn't shift, and all the power transferred to the bar. Kelsey McCarthy now 172.5. Speaking of good benches, if you're watching at home and you want some tips on bench press, have a look at this lady. A little bit of a long hold, but she gets the call. Super strong. 3 white lights. There was a little bit of hesitation after the press command, but it didn't bother her at all. And then she just absolutely fired up. Malika Yada from India, 105 for her third attempt. This will add 5 kilos to her personal best. And she has had a very, very good day so far. Just missing out on that final squat. She's getting a replacement command. She's still got time. Referees instructing her what the problem is. And this is the importance of coming onto that platform with enough time if things don't go right. And the problem is her feet aren't flat on the floor. Unfortunately, she's not able to feel where her feet are. And I think part of the problem is that she sets up with her feet on the bench and doesn't take them down until after she gets the bar. Unfortunately, she timed out. She's been having such a good day so far. But every time something like this happens, it builds your experience and you get better and better. So 112.5 for Catherine Buck now. Opened at 105, then went to 110. Now looking at 112.5 for a personal best. And just couldn't get the timing right off the chest there. Just lost her positioning, lost her focus there. And unfortunately doesn't get that one, but she has 2 on the board. Ines Kara from Austria, 125. Opened at 112. Went to 120, both good lifts. Now looking for 125 to add a couple of kilos to her personal best. So we've got the uplift combination on the platform at the moment. Hofstetter and Kara with 125. Brings it down, looking for that touch. Gets it there, stops it quickly. Plenty of power off the chest. From here, that looks like a good lift. It is 3 white lights, and she is ecstatic.
125 remains on the bar for Francesca Perello. Howell and Bryans, get ready.
Francesca Perello from Italy, 125.
125 kilos
This will give her a very big personal best. Hasn't been competing at this level for too long. Hit a 110 at the Europeans this year. You can see that shirt just flatten out across her chest. Gets good speed. This is all her though, and unfortunately just couldn't drive it all the way through.
No lift, unfortunately, no lift at 125 kilos for Parello of Italy. 127.5 next weight on the bar. Kim Cowell, Great Britain.
You can see as she came down to her touch there, she just flattened out, lost a lot of tightness and a lot of air. Right now, Kimberly Cowell from Great Britain, 127.5. Just shy of the 130 she put up at a single lift event in Tokyo, World Bench Press. Another fantastic IPF event. And just a little bit too much for her to handle today. And she doesn't seem too concerned about that, having a bit of a laugh with the coach about which direction the bar decided to go. The shirt just driving her back a little bit. Holly Bryans, Great Britain, 132.5. Opened at 122.5, hit the 127.5, now looking for 132.5 for a massive personal best. And 132.5 just proving to be a little bit too heavy today. Yeah, she had everything right, didn't do a whole lot wrong. It was just a little bit too heavy today. Marie Hauschild, 135 from Germany. Again, looking for personal best. She has done a 130 before the Western European Championships this year. The 135 would be certainly nice to add to her resume. Just trying to reach for that touch. There it is. And it just looks a bit too heavy today. She did a very, very good job getting that down to the chest, getting that touch. As you get closer to the chest there and your elbow position changes, the shirt just wants to pull you in different directions, but she managed it very, very well. Marta Elverum will be our next lifter at 142.5. Opened at 137.5 and missed it. Got the 137.5 on a second, now looking for 142.5. Put everything together very, very well on her second lift. And it looks like a good lift, and it is 2-1. Gets the third one on the board. Put everything together very, very well. Catherine Silverzahn from Germany. 152.5, big personal best. Opened 145, missed it. Put it all together really well on the second. Now looking at 152.5. Going to be looking for a very quick press command. And she gets one. And just not quite there today.
Unfortunately, no lift for Silverton.
So that will be a no lift. But she has a number on the board, and that's what's important. Lydia Zayats from Russia. A smoking fast bench press. 142.5. Flew up. 150 was pretty much the same speed. What's 155 going to do? And it will be a 10 kilogram personal best. Let's see if it moves as fast as the previous two lifts. Plenty of experience in that Russian coaching team. That was just as quick as her previous two lifts. I'm sure all three lifts looked like a warm-up. And the referees just waiting on the referee's lights.
Thumbs up or down, please, referees.
And it's a good lift.
Good lift, 3 white lights, 3 white lights for Eileen Jorgensen.
And she puts 3 on the board. And 3 very convincing ones. What an incredible bencher. Eileen Jorgensen from Norway, 160. Well below her personal best. Not quite sure what's happened to the board there. But this is Elena Jorgensen from Norway. Oh, a little bit of a fumble at the top there. I have to wait and see if it affects her at all. Unfortunately, 2 red lights. She's a little bit disappointed with that. And I see the coach running to have a chat with the jury to see if he can get any joy there.
This is 172.5 Marchenko.
Antonina Marchenko from the Ukraine, 172.5. Didn't have the greatest start with her open at 160. Smoked it on a second. Now looking for 172.5. She's done 180 before the European Championships last year. She's 175 earlier this year at the European Championships. She did a 170 at the World Championships last year. So she is no stranger to 172.5. She's just got to put it all together. And it was pretty messy, but it came up. Let's see what the referees say. No lift, unfortunately. She's a little bit disappointed with herself there. One lift left. Yeah, butt started to come up and starts to shift her balance and move her feet. And unable to transfer all the power evenly. So the last bench press for this session, Kelsey McCarthy, 175. Still under her personal best. Didn't have a great morning on squats. I've got one on the board. And now wants to go 3 from 3 on the bench. And set herself in a very commanding position. Overall, she has the gold medal in the bench wrapped up. Mashenko has the silver medal. Zayats has the bronze. This one's to give her that extra bit of edge rolling into the deadlift. Just struggling to get the touch, gets it there. Has to use every ounce of strength she's got. It looks good from here. Referees say it's a good lift, 2-1, it's on the board. Gets the 175 on and sets herself in a very commanding position. Don't go anywhere. We are going to be back here in 20 minutes when these ladies battle it out on the deadlift. Welcome back to Dubai for the 2019 IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships, brought to you by IPF, Eleco, Uplift and SBD. And we are just about to kick off the deadlift session, and this is where the action really starts to heat up. And as far as lifts concerned, and as far as rules are concerned, it's probably the lift with the least amount of technicalities and the least amount of problem things that can go wrong. There's still lots of things that can go wrong, but it's probably got a few less technicalities, particularly compared to the bench. One of the benefits, or one of the bonuses here on the deadlift, is you don't have to wait for a start command. Key things: up down movement. The bar has to go up. The bar cannot drop down or dip down. You cannot support the bar on your thighs. Used to be known as hitching as well. You have to get to the top, and you have to lock out those shoulders, hips and knees as well. So you have to be in that upright locked position. Once you're at the top, you have to wait for the down command before you can place the bar, and you actually have to stay in contact with that bar all the way back to the ground, so you cannot just drop the bar. We are 35 seconds away from getting the deadlifts underway. You can see all these women so far have registered a lift in each discipline. Now they're looking to get their opener on the board, solidify that total, and then start looking at the numbers, start looking at what they have to do to move up the rankings a bit. McCarthy from the USA has put herself in an extremely commanding position at the end of the two disciplines, now needing to lock away that total that she's worked so hard to build. And of course, Eleco, equipping so many competitions throughout the year, doing so much for the sport. Uplift, having put on this amazing competition, and SBD, some of the greatest gear on the planet that you can get your hands on for lifting. Right now, Marie Hauschild from Germany, 160. Well under her personal best of 177.5. And a good opening lift right there. Current world record, 249 kilograms. World junior record, 235. Total record, 661. And the world junior total record is 595. Ines Kara from Austria, 165. The Uplift combination here, Uplift coach, Uplift athlete, putting on a great performance here. And making short work of that. Kimberly Cowell from Great Britain, 167 and a half. Under a personal best of 170. She lifts both equipped and raw. And that should be a good opening lift. She set that personal best of 170 at the European Championships earlier this year. Looking to go past that before. She's actually done a 185 raw deadlift last year. Antonina Mashenko from the Ukraine, 170 kilograms. Well under her personal best, just looking to put this on the board to solidify that total. And she does just that. Holly Bryant's 175. Again, well under her personal best. Just needing to put one on the board You've done all this work. And that's the way an opening deadlift should look.
197.5 kilos next weight on the bar. Lydia Zayat, Russia.
Lydia Zayat from Russia now, looking for a world junior total record on her first lift. Has already broken the world junior squat record. Has to put this on the board, not just to solidify her total, but to claim the record. She needs to put a lift in all disciplines and register a total. And this will give her the world junior total record. And she has it. It should be a good lift. It is another world record for Lydia.
200 on the bar now for Sue. Yada from Silvertown, get ready.
Sai Li Su from Chinese Taipei for 200 kilograms.
Chinese Taipei.
She's put in the work so far. Now just needs to put one on the board so she can get that total registered. Taking her time, not needing to wait for a start command. And the referees say, good lift. Gets that one on. Probably looked a little harder for an opening lift than what you'd really want. But it does the job. Malika Yadav from India, 200 kilograms. And has had a pretty good day so far. And that should be a good lift. It is. 3 white lights.
200 remains on the bar for Silvertown. Jorgensen and McCarthy, get ready.
So far, lots of green. Catherine Zilvazan from Germany. And she's put a number in each discipline. Hasn't had everything go her way today. I imagine she'll be looking for a strong performance in the deadlift. Using that time very well. And handles the weight there very easily. And gets the 3 white lights. So she has locked away that total now. Elina Jorgensen from Norway, 200 kilograms. Just shy of her personal best. And just struggling a bit to lock at the top there. And gets the 2 white lights. That is enough to go on the board. Kelsey McCarthy from the US of A looking for 210. She needs to put this one on the board, get that total registered. She's put herself in a very, very commanding position. And this lift will solidify that. makes short work of her opening deadlift there and locks away that total with 3 white lights.
210 remains on the bar for Catherine Bach. Morello and Elverum, get ready. Bar is
Catherine
loaded.
Bach,
210 kilos. Catherine Bach.
210 kilograms. Well under her personal best of 227 and a half. And she's not happy with where the bar was on the platform. Had to move the bar. And that should be a good lift, and it is. 2 white lights.
Catherine Bach at 210 kilos. Next weight on the bar, 215 kilos. Francesca Perello, Italy.
Not entirely sure what the red light was for. Couldn't quite see from that angle. Francesca Perello from Italy, 215 kilograms.
215 kilos, Francesca Perello, Italy.
Fairly wide stance conventional. And she gets it to the top. Gets the white lights and a personal best. But it was a tough looking opening lift.
Last lift in round 1 is for Marta Elverum of Norway.
Marta Elverum of Norway, 232 and a half.
Bars loaded, 2.5 kilos, Marta Elverum of Norway.
And another uplift athlete here at the World Championships. And a very easy opening lift. The green across the board. Every single athlete in this session registered a total. Now they can start looking at the numbers and seeing just what they need to do to get into those top positions. Marie Hauschild from Germany, 167 and a half. On her last lift, gave herself a personal best total. And this one will add to it again. And that was textbook sumo stance lift. Slow off the floor. And gradually accelerates to the top.
Next weight on the bar, Ines Kara, Austria. Cowell and Marchenko, get ready.
Ines Kara from Austria, 175. This will equal her personal best and destroy her personal best total. Uplift coach and athlete on the platform together. And it should be a good lift. Wait and see. It is. 3 white lights. Kimberly Cowell loads up to 177 and a half.
Bars loaded, 177.5 kilos. Kim Cowell, Great Britain.
This will add 7.5 kilos to a personal best in equipped lifting. And doesn't appear to have any problems with that lift at all. 3 white lights.
177.5. Same weight remains to the bar for Marchenko of Ukraine. Bryant and Jorgensen, get ready. Bars loaded, 177.5.
Antonina Marchenko from the Ukraine, 177.5. Very, very strong lifter. Hasn't had everything go all her way today. This is where she wants to shift some numbers around, see what she can achieve. And that looks good from here. It is. It's 3 white lights at 177.5.
185. Next weight on the bar. Holly Bryans, Great Britain. Jorgensen and Zayats, get ready.
Holly Bryans from Great Britain, 185.
Holly Bryans, Great Britain.
Well under her personal best. And this will make a massive 27.5 kilo gain on her personal best total. And a little bit slow into the lockout there, but she gets the job done. Elina Jorgensen, 205. This will equal her personal best. It'll put her into that 600 region for total, which will be a personal best as well. She had to work hard, but she gets it there. It looks good from here. It is 3 white lights. Lydia Zayats from Russia to extend that world junior record again. World junior total record. She just set the total record to 595, now looking to make it 605. And that moved as fast as her rocket bench press. And it's on the board, and another world record under her belt. Malika Yadav from India, 210 kilograms. Equal her personal best. She got off to a rocky start on her opening lift. It was a bit late getting to the platform, but she got the job done. And she didn't make the same mistake twice. And it's been outstanding all day. And I think that should be a good lift. It is. It goes on the board at 210. I think she's getting very close to her limits, though. Catherine Zilbazan from Germany, 210 kilograms. This will add 3 kilos to her personal best total. Sorry, 2.5 kilos. It will add 2.5 kilos to her best deadlift as well. So she's got the 2-for-1 deal, 2 personal bests. And she gets it to the top, gets the down command. It took a while to get that down command. You can see her looking and waiting, but she gets the job done. Hailey Su, Chinese Taipei, 215 kilograms. Not a lot of rest time for these ladies. These spotters and loaders are flying through this. course, you've got to take your hats off to the spotters and loaders. They move more weight than anyone throughout the week. And keep all of the lifters safe as well. Yeah, just couldn't quite hold it. You can see her grip starting to slip right from the get-go there. And as she hooked it across her thigh, it just loosened her fingers a little bit. Kelsey McCarthy for 217.5. Currently has a 635 total. This will give us 642.5. And is going to make it very, very difficult for anyone to peg her down if she puts this one on the board. And just couldn't quite hold it there. It looks like she just lost her grip a little bit. Have a look at the replay. And it looks like her right hand might have started to open a little bit. A bit hard to tell from that position. I'm sure she'll rectify that on her next. Catherine Buck, 217.5 from Denmark. Just takes the bar to the front of the platform in a position where she likes it and feels that the platform is possibly more even for her footing. And unfortunately, 2 red lights. Let's have a look at the top there. It's really not getting into that lock position. And Francesca Parello from Italy, 225. Big, big personal best on deadlift and on total. Gets that head up. And that certainly didn't look too challenging at all. Gets the 3 white lights.
225 kilos for Francesca Parello of Italy. 240 next weight on the bar for
Marta Elverum from Norway, 240.
For Elverum of Norway.
Be very interested to see what she puts in for her third and final lift if this moves well, because the current open world record is 249. And that moved very, very well. 3 white lights, she's happy with that one. So we come around for their final lifts of the session, their last deadlift. We'll see how many changes there are as people try and work their way up the rankings. And Marie Hauschild looking for 172.5.
17.5 kilos, Marie Hauschild, Germany.
Already beat her previous personal best total. So I'll add a little bit more to it. Really taking her time. She wants to make sure she puts this one on the board. And very smooth all the way through. It is 3 white lights.
She
finishes with a very big personal best total. Ines Cara, 182 and a half.
Coach is an uplift coach, ladies and gentlemen. We've mentioned how the platform helps lifters and coaches.
182.5. Big personal best. And she gets it to the top. Holds it there, gets the down command, and gets the white lights. And we talked about Elverum and what she was going to put in for a third lift. She's put in a 255, which could well be a little bit of a placeholder as well. You've got 2 changes in your deadlift. And she's put that one in there to give herself the opportunity to go after that world record possibly. Kimberly Cow, 182 and a half. And the referees say, good lift. She gives herself a very, very big personal best deadlift and total. Antonina Machenko from the Ukraine looking for 187 and a half now. Well under her personal best. But she is lifting for this competition and for her current condition. She's had a bit of a tough day today. And just a little bit too heavy today. Unfortunately. Just couldn't quite get it moving. Holly Bryans, Great Britain, 190 kilograms. So coming into this competition, her best total was 500. This will give her 532.5. That is an enormous, enormous personal best at this level. Squeezes it to the top, locks it out. The referees say good lift. Got a little slow there, but she locks it, gets those knees back. Alina Jorgensen from Norway, 212.5 kilograms. This will add 37.5 kilos to her previous best total. It'll be a personal best deadlift as well. And it will temporarily roll her up into the bronze medal position overall. And in powerlifting, you just never know what's going to happen. She's having to work extremely hard for it. But she gets to the top. It looks like she locked it out. She did. She gets the 3 white lights. And she is very, very excited about that finish. Lydia Zayats, world junior total record. She's going to add some more to it. This will take it to 612.5. She's looking at 215. It's a personal best deadlift and a world junior total record. Every lift she has done has moved like lightning. And that is the first lift that looked like it might have slowed her down just a little bit. But she gets the 3 white lights and another world record to take home with her. What a fantastic way for her to finish. Kelsey McCarthy now, 217.5. She missed this on her second attempt. And just left the door open a little bit for Elverum to maybe sneak through. So she needs to put this one on the board in order to close that door just a little bit. $217.5, well under her personal best. She's currently on a 635 total. This will give her 642.5 and pretty much close the door. That looks better. That should be a good lift. It is, because they're 642.5. And that pretty much closes the door and should secure the gold medal overall. But this is powerlifting. Tsai Lee Su, Chinese Taipei, 220 kilograms. Open to 200, missed the 215, now looking for 220. It will give her a personal best total. It'll move her up to the bronze medal in the deadlift. And it'll also move her overall ranking up to 8th position. And just couldn't quite get it there. So Elverum has dropped her lift to 249.5. She was at 255 waiting to see what McCarthy did. If McCarthy had have missed the 217.5, I imagine she would have pulled or attempted to pull for the gold medal. Now she's dropped it back just to chase after that world record. She already has the silver medal in the bag. Can't lose that. Right now, Malika Yadaf, 220 kilograms. Looking to move into the bronze medal position on the deadlift, but just a little bit too much today. Catherine Silverzahn now from Germany, 220 kilos. This will move her to the bronze medal in the deadlift. She's currently ranked 5 overall. And just couldn't quite get it past the knees. But she gave it a fantastic effort. So we stay at 220. Catherine Buck from Denmark. She wants to take a crack at that bronze medal as well. She opened at 210. She missed the 217.5. Now wants 220 to pull for the bronze medal in the deadlift. But McCarthy well out of reach with the gold medal overall and currently sitting in the bronze medal position for the deadlift. And I think she has got it there. Let's wait and see. She's pretty happy with it. She does. So she temporarily rolls up into the bronze medal position. And there is a change going in.
The weight is 227.5.
So 227.5. Francesca Perello. She is currently ranked silver in the deadlift. And that belongs to her. It'll be a big personal best deadlift and a big personal best total. She gets it to the top. It wasn't overly clean, but it kept moving up, so she gets the white lights. And she has a silver medal in the deadlift.
Last deadlift of the round.
Marta Elverum now looking for that world
For Marta
record
of Norway.
deadlift
This is a
at
world deadlift
249.5 kilograms.
for
She
this
has
deadlift
the
athlete.
world, she has
We've talked
the
about
gold medal in the
powerlifting
deadlift.
before.
She has the silver medal overall.
That is
No
a
one can take that away from her. This one is for the icing on the cake.
record for Marta Elverum of Norway. If she gets it, the bar.
249.5 kilograms. World Open record. 249.5. It's going to take everything she's got. It's moving well. Oh, locks out too early on the knees, but she managed to get it to the top. I think she has it. She does. It's a world record for Marta Elverum to finish her day. She takes home the silver medal overall and the gold and the world record in the deadlift. But of course, McCarthy with an outstanding performance to take the overall gold medal at 642.5. Elverum with the silver at 632. And Zayata with 612 for the bronze medal and a handful of world junior records for her as well. Don't go too far away. We will be having the medal ceremony very, very shortly. And of course, at 5 p.m. this afternoon, we have the 105 men.
Medals also being presented by, I think, is that Roger? Yeah, so that is Roger from Deadlift. So Gaston, Josephine and Roger from Deadlift giving out the presentation medals. Okay, does everyone have their medals? We're ready for the squat, so we present first the medals for individual lifts. In bronze medal position on the squat with 242.5 kilos from Ukraine, Antonina Marchenko. Also with 242.5 kilos from Russia, Lydia Zayats. And squat gold with a massive 250 kilos, quarter of a metric ton for a 72 kilo lifter from the USA, Kelsey McCarthy. To presenting the medals for the bench press. In bronze medal position with 155 kilos from Russia, Lydia Zayats. Silver medal on squat, 160 kilos from Ukraine, Antonina Marchenko. Bench press gold, 175 kilos from the USA, Kelsey McCarthy. Amazing stuff, ladies. Thank you. We now move to presenting the medals for the deadlift. In bronze medal position with 220 kilos from Denmark, Catherine Bach. Silver medal on the deadlift, 227.5 kilos from Italy, Francesca Corallo. Taking deadlift gold and a new world record with 249.5 kilos from Norway. Training with Deadlift, it is Marta Elvero. Fantastic stuff, ladies. Look for Roger from Deadlift there. Thank you, ladies. We will now move to presenting the overall. In bronze medal position from Russia with a new world total record. Junior, it is Lydia Zayats. Silver medal position, 632 kilos from Norway, Marta Elvero. Helped along the way by our friends at Deadlift. And your new 72 champion with 642.5 kilos from the USA, Kelsey McCarthy. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an awesome 72 kilo competition. In just a moment, once we have all the photographs, please join me in giving these ladies a round of applause as they leave the platform behind the technical controller. Round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.